Welcome back to week 7, module 7. Last week we talked about the fact that purposeful breaks and life pauses are not just optional, but they're necessary for a believer's physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Dr. Morgan has said, having a well-ordered life and taking advantage of every minute doesn't require living in a hyperkinetic frenzy. On the contrary, it allows us to build in times of stillness and solitude, green pastures, quiet waters, rest, thinking, family time, days off, needed vacations, hobbies, recreation, and relaxation. The Bible calls this rest, end quote. Dr. Morgan also advocated having a regular time with God, and he preferred that time in the morning. He referred to Psalm 143, verse 8, which says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life." We've also talked about the tendency for misusing the disciplines for various reasons. And one common misuse is legalism. Legalism is defined as excessive adherence to law or formula. Now, discipline may also be defined, discipline itself may be defined as activity, exercise, or a regime that develops or improves a skill. It's basically training. One observer has said this, quote, "The danger of confusing the two, discipline and legalism, is that we can lose the important spiritual disciplines which are crucial to our growth, sanctification, protection, and intimacy with Christ. We must ask ourselves, which of these seem most characteristic to me, to us?" The observer also went on to comment, "Legalism is being disciplined in order to live up to the law in our own strength, for the sake of achieving justification of sins. We can resort to this way of living even after becoming genuine believers, trying to save ourselves, even though we've been given the life of salvation through Christ." One of my favorite quotes about legalism and religion compared to the gospel is from Tim Keller, who aptly said this, "Religion means that I obey, therefore I'm accepted. But on the contrary, the gospel means I'm accepted and therefore I obey." What a great difference, and what a great motivation for life, to live life because I'm accepted, therefore I serve Christ. In Isaiah 58, God chastised the selfishness of the Israelites. Even though they had sacrificed and they fasted, God reprimanded them for deriving self-satisfaction from sacrifice, feeling good about themselves and their spiritual uprightness while ignoring the needs of others around them. We must learn to balance the disciplines with serving others. In his book, Practice of Love, Kyle Bennett asked if, while focusing on the vertical, Godward angle of spiritual discipline, may it be possible over time to neglect the horizontal angle, one's neighbor? It's been said that some believers may be missing the intent of the spiritual disciplines altogether, pointing out through Isaiah 58 when God chastised the selfishness of the Israelites, even though they fasted. God reprimanded them for deriving that self-satisfaction. And we read in Isaiah 58, verses 2 through 3, which says, God said, "They seek me daily and delight to know my ways, as if they were a nation that did righteousness and did not forsake the judgment of their God. They ask of me righteous judgments. They delight to draw near to God. Why have we fasted, and you see it not? Why have we humbled ourselves, and you take no knowledge of it?" Israelites say. "Behold, in the day of your fast," God says, "you seek, your own pleasure and oppress all your workers. The discipline of solitude is a vehicle for the work of the Holy Spirit. One retreats in order to hear God's gentle voice and apply his truths. A problem arises when one simply seeks an experience and not the Lord himself. In doing this, practitioners will greatly miss the discipline's intent. Solitude, said one theologian, is a good tool to focus us on Christ so as to and prepare us for community. Catherine Doherty, a Catholic social worker, passed away in 1985. She was also a pioneer of social justice. She said this as a result of retreating into silence in the presence of God. She says, a believer can be compelled to serve one's neighbor. One final mention this week is of a favorite character of mine, Brother Lawrence. Lawrence was a 17th century layman serving in a French monastery. He once wrote this, quote, "The time of business does not with me differ from the time of prayer. And in the noise and clatter of my kitchen, while several persons are at the same time calling for different things, I possess God in as great tranquility as if I were upon my knees at the Blessed Sacrament." See, Brother Lawrence served God and his community while staying true to daily responsibilities in the monastery. May each of us this week, may we think of our relationship with God and others in the same way as Brother Lawrence. May we learn the art and the balance of practicing the presence of God in everyday life, even as in the dull routine of our day we go about our way. So this week I just pray that God would show us, that would show me the way to live in Him. May God bless you.